Turn our attention here to the sides. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's review we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Generation Selects Deluxe Class Bugbite. Once again another slight redeco to that of the Earthrise Cliffjumper. However, judging by the most recent Earthrise teaser trailer, the figure before me definitely looks as if though he's going to be incredibly accurate to what we see on screen, at least in terms of robot mode. We haven't as of yet seen his appearance in vehicle mode, and judging from what we saw in Siege, we probably won't ever see him transform, but nonetheless you can see that in terms of a vehicle mode, Bugbite is just a direct repaint to that of Cliffjumper. This figure here is incredibly similar to that of Hubcap in the sense that the vehicle mode is exactly the same. It is merely only the head sculpt and the paint applications that have changed, but you can see that very similar to that of Hubcap, he has been completely painted in this really awesome glossy white, and once again that does add for an incredibly premium feel and really does set this apart from some of the other mass release figures. You can see that we have got a fantastic looking mercenary logo there, which we'll see more of in robot mode. The entire back section here has also been painted in a glossy black. As we take a look here from a side perspective, all of the details are once again evident, as well as the silver hubcaps. Unfortunately, the rear headlights have gone completely unpainted. However, the bumper here is decked out in a black paint application. As we turn him under to the underside, he does look exactly the same to that of Cliffjumper, and in terms of rolling, he does roll really well. For accessories, once again, as you probably all have expected, he comes with the exact same bazooka that we have seen with not just Cliffjumper, but we have seen with Hubcap and Bumblebee and now Bugbite. But I really do think that out of all of the repaints, this is probably the best looking bazooka weapon. You can see that we've got this amazing looking metallic purple paint applications. I really do hope that this does eventually make its debut in Earthrise, as unfortunately we never got to see it used in Siege, but I really do love the detailing on that, and you can also see we do have the metallic purple stripes there on the side of this back section. As you can imagine, this can break up into the individual components in order to give Bugbite the ski-like appearance that I showed in both the Bumblebee and Cliffjumper review. However, for this review I will not be showing that. In terms of a comparison, let's bring in what appears to be Bugbite's arch nemesis in Earthrise, Bumblebee. Now, initially when this figure was first shown, I was rather upset that they hadn't chose to give him the VW Bug as his vehicle mode, as, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that the original toy version of Bugbite was that of a VW Bug, and it would have been awesome to actually get this particular mold reused again rather than getting just Cliffjumper. However, this could be completely accurate to the show, but in terms of vehicle mode, you can see that the VW Bug is slightly smaller than that of Bugbite. However, when they are in robot mode, they are exactly the same height. Turning now to Bugbite's transformation, I will very quickly skim through this, as stated, I have reviewed this mold practically 4 times with this review. So of course, as per tradition, you are going to want to parts form, so completely detach this whole rear bumper. With that now done, we can turn our attention here and just begin to slightly untab everything. You can see that everything in this does hold in incredibly securely, so just detach all of this and try your best to wriggle these pieces out. This was actually a section that I was glad they remolded on the VW Bug, as there is a clip that actually goes underneath this piece which makes transformation incredibly difficult, so you do have to wriggle this section out and then pull it out like so, and of course repeat the same process here on this side. So just get your fingernail in there and force that section out. With that now done, we can begin to loosen up all of this. We can take the arms and just angle them out to the sides and begin to shift this all the way up, rotate around so that the back is now facing the front, and then we can take this section, collapse that down. We can then turn our attention to these pieces, and these will clip very softly into place, and we can tab that in there, which will just solidify this whole upper section. Hinge the arms around, come to the feet now, flip the wheels in, and of course repeat the same process. Bring this section down. This tab will peg into any of the slots that we have in the mold of the wheels, so just align those up appropriately and they will clip in there really nice and securely. Of course, repeat the exact same process here on this side, so just align that up and once again shoot that in there, and that is basically Bugbite fully transformed up into his robot mode. Of course, we can bring in the back section and just tab this in there, and for the most part, from what we've seen from the most recent teaser trailer, this looks as if though it's going to be very accurate to Bugbite's appearance in Earthrise. Taking a look there at the head sculpt, is the exact same sculpt that we got on the Netflix Bumblebee, and I think that the sculpt work really does look awesome. In my opinion, this could be an alternate reality version of Bumblebee that has gone bad. I really do love making up some backstories for some of the more obscure Gen Select characters that perhaps I'm not all that familiar with, but you can see the sculpt work there for the head I think looks fantastic. The mercenary logo is for sure a faction that I'm glad to see on Bugbite, as it was an awesome faction that I believe we first saw on Exhaust. So here's hoping that we can see it somewhere down the line on perhaps a repaint of Double Dealer. You can see here that the entire shoulders have been cast in black and the actual forearms have been cast in white. And as a whole, in terms of robot mode, besides the head, he is exactly the same as that of Cliffjumper. So there really isn't anything new with this release whatsoever. Articulation here is exactly the same, so the head is on a ball joint. I'm not entirely sure as to whether or not due to this being Bumblebee's head on Cliffjumper's body, but you do definitely get a slightly better range of motion out of this head, I have found. You can see that we can really roll that all the way around. The arms can rotate, the full 360 hinge out to the sides, full 360 at the bicep, 90-degree bend there at the elbow, full 360 at the wrist, full 360 at the waist. Legs can kick forwards that far, back that far, out that far. They can also swivel there at the thigh, hinge there at the knee, and then finally the feet can pivot side to side. So in terms of robot mode, although I'm not entirely familiar with this character, and just by judging from the very brief few seconds that we saw of him in the trailer, this figure for sure is a really nice looking redeco, and as stated, I really do love giving this character an almost alternate universe identity of being perhaps a nemesis version of Bumblebee. Just bringing in his blaster here, once again the metallic purple, I think really contrasts rather nicely there with the incredibly vibrant white. You can see that I think he looks awesome, and once again, even in terms of colour, this to me looks almost as if though it has jumped straight out of the Shattered Glass continuity with the really awesome, very menacing metallic purple. So for sure, a rather nice looking repaint, and one that I definitely now appreciate a lot more by learning that he will indeed make his appearance in Earthrise. Here for a very quick robot mode size comparison and just general comparison. You can see the similarities between Bumblebee and Bugbite where the head sculpts are concerned, but the bodies are completely different due to Bugbite sharing the same mould as Cliffjumper. Personally, as stated earlier on in the review, I would have much rather had them use the Bumblebee mould for this particular rendition, as it really does appear as if though Hasbro are now really milking that Cliffjumper mould, and I'm not entirely sure on whether or not we'll ever see this particular VW bug mould used in the future, so I think it would have been a great opportunity to utilise it here for this character. But nonetheless, for sure, definitely a really awesome figure, and I think that when paired next to one another, you could definitely almost imagine these two being rivals. I cannot wait to see them showdown in the Earthrise Netflix series. And so some final thoughts here for the Gen Selects Bugbite. For me personally, I actually do quite like this particular repaint. Initially, as stated before, I wasn't all that looking forward to this release, as it was yet again another redeco of that of Cliffjumper. However, after seeing that he will indeed make an appearance in the upcoming Earthrise show, I just knew that I had to add him to the collection, as he is going to be one of the cast members. It's unsure as to whether or not he will be one of the main cast members, but he is of the mercenary faction, and they most certainly made a huge deal about that in the actual teaser trailer, so I'm pretty sure that we're going to be seeing quite a considerable amount of Bugbite in that show, and it's an evil version of Bumblebee in my opinion, so once again, what's not to love? I'm pretty sure that this figure is probably only going to appeal to a very small demographic of collectors. However, I would be really eager to know down in the comment section below which of you fantastic viewers will indeed be adding Bugbite to their collection. I really do hope that you enjoyed my review. If you did, please do let me know down in the comment section below, and until my next review, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.